Yes, I have a new show on PBS. I did not necessarily think that I would be on TV again. And every episode is kind of around like a question that I think we all have if we have a kitchen. Like a lot of people, I've been scrolling for the last 5 years, and there's 5 million experts out there on what you should eat and you shouldn't eat and why and how. You know, I know that if I'm confused about what fats are good for me and what fats are not, then I know everybody else is. My expert in every episode is this nutritionist who goes with me because, you know, I feel like we have given social media the license to tell us what is good and what is bad, and I just need some credibility behind that. I think this show's very timely, and that's one of the things I'm very excited about. There's an episode on how your freezer is the best preservative you have. So that touches on this conversation we're having around ultra-processed foods. And in that episode, I go actually to Paris. The French, their favorite grocery store is called Picard, and everything there is frozen. You know, we as Americans have always believed that the French, you know more about food than anyone else. But we as Americans kind of look down on frozen food. And so I wanted to show how the French treat it. So I go to Paris, I go to the grocery store, I buy all these things, and then I go back to this Airbnb and heat it all up in the microwave.
In the microwave?
So there's an episode on pasta, but not pasta for, you know, how to roll out pasta or how to cook pasta. It's pasta as a means to stretch a little bit of meat across a meal. And just this week, I've been hearing that this is what we're in right now is a hamburger helper economy. And we hit on so many things that I think are on the tips of everyone's tongues now. And in that episode, my expert is a man named Dan Pashman. He comes down and we go on a pasta crawl and, you know, talk about this idea of, you know, pasta as a means to stretch ingredients, essentially. There's an episode on fats. Growing up, margarine was the fat that my mom thought was the healthiest. And I mean, that obviously is not the case. And then, you know, we all fell out with animal fats, bacon fat, tallow, then fell in love with coconut oil, then fell in love with olive oil, and now we're afraid of seed oils. Like, what is going on? A little bit of both. You know, like in a chef's life, you know, I certainly held an expert platform in my kitchen. You know, I knew what I was doing there, but then I went and learned from people in the community and from farmers. So it's very much the same. You know, I'm cooking with these ingredients out of my box of knowledge. But then I have additional questions that I take to someone else. Making the show was really an opportunity for me to ask the questions that I had. Is bacon fat bad for you? Are seed oils bad for you? Why do we even believe they're bad for you? Is it worth it to cook brown rice over white rice or whole grain pasta over white pasta? But in every episode, I visit with other people, and all of your favorite stars or characters from A Chef's Life make an appearance.
It's Miss Lily and Warren.
Well, I hope you go to work and you're like, did you know that you can eat white rice?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's not about following a recipe all the time. It's about, you know, feeling comfortable in your kitchen and just making the most out of the time you have in there. And I just want people to watch it and realize that cooking is whatever you make it.